Mischke, 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 Mischke.
Welcome, one and all. I thought we'd try something a little different with this program. I thought we'd go to the listener list, the caller list, the list of people who have enjoyed hearing this program and have added their name to a list of folks who don't mind being called when I want to have that conversation with the people. I thought with this show we'd do nothing but call the people. In the old days of radio, this used to be called Open Line Friday or something like that. Personally, I always called it Lazy Friday. Anyway, what I thought we'd do is open up the lines for me. Yeah, the lines are open for me to call you. Wait, what? Yeah, okay, it's Open Line Friday. I'm going to call you, and I'm going to do nothing but call you people. I'm not going to butt call you people. I don't mean that. I'm not into butt calling. I know some people do that, and then you answer and there's nobody there. And it's weird. Later they send a message, sorry, I butt dialed you. And you think, you sick, twisted freak. You know, they have done research, and those butt dialers, you can send them to therapy. You can even give them drugs. It's very difficult for them to change. They're twisted, and they remain twisted, and the best you can do is keep them in a facility for life. I'm a butt dialer, that's all I do is call with my butt. Do. People answer the phone and they hear what? And why is it called butt dialing? I understand there's been an accidental call, but don't your fingers have to be involved in some way? Usually when I've accidentally called someone, I've done it with my fingers, trying to text them and accidentally calling them. You can't just have your butt all of a sudden take control and make calls to people on your contact list, can you? What if there's something we're learning very late in the game right now about our butts, that they have a mind of their own, and they have intentions that are completely separate from our own. They have an agenda. They have a mission. They're here on this earth for a very separate reason from what we're here on this earth for. How about a Planet of the Apes type movie where the apes don't take over? No, the butts take over. They started out butt dialing, and then it just escalated from there. Pretty soon they were butt leading. They were butt tyrants. Butt tyrants? That's a sick name for a movie, but someone's working on it somewhere right now in Hollywood. Butt tyrants! Rated NC-17. I'm not watching that one! Nope.
I can't come to the phone right now, so please leave a message. Thank you.
Sometimes I wonder why people can't come to the phone. I suppose there are a myriad of reasons, but I tend to land on one or two. The one I think of the most is you're chained to a radiator in your basement. There's a sound, a tone in that I can't come to the phone that says you want to, you're longing to. You're looking to be saved from a situation you can't believe you're in. You never thought when you married this gal she'd pull a stunt like that, and here it's been 6 weeks. You have a little bowl of water, occasionally some crumbs, but you're losing weight, and the whole thing is sick and twisted. Meanwhile, you'd like to come to the phone. So I hate to just leave a message, hey, sorry I missed you, with your life on the line, the minutes going by like hours, the hours like days. What ridiculous situation no one should ever be in has resulted in you being unable to get to the phone. Are you clothed? What's happened? What was she like when you were dating her, and when did it go south?
Hello, this is Roy.
Roy, it's Mischke.
Hey, Mischke, how are you?
I'm swell. What's new in your world?
Taking a break from work at the moment.
Do you mean like a 6-month break or just a few minutes?
Just a few minutes.
What kind of work do you do, Roy?
I'm a risk analyst. I work for a reinsurance intermediary evaluating insurance portfolios for the risk of catastrophic loss.
And at what point in that job do you say to yourself, I've never had this much fun?
Almost never, to be honest with you.
Why'd you choose this profession?
Because it's a natural fit for my personality and how I look at things. Mm-hmm. Also, I didn't feel compelled to do anything else, so this was the one.
My guess is you could have also been a certified public accountant.
Probably, yeah. That was something that I had considered at one point.
I'm already getting a feel for you, brother. I know your personality type. Now, I'm not saying I know you completely. There are facets I haven't explored yet, but I'd say starting out here, I'm feeling pretty good about having an idea of who you are.
That's cool.
But you may have a dark side, 3 a.m. in the basement somewhere in some pretty little suburb, weird stuff going on with the neighbors invited over.
Who doesn't?
Who doesn't? I mean, we're all the same, ultimately. Oh, we like to judge other people and be all high and mighty. But the fact is, we're all the same. Deep down, everyone has a dark side. Yours a little more twisted than others, but the point is we all have a dark side. And it's our imperfections that really make us the most beautiful. You meet a perfect person, you really find no inroads to liking them. I meet a perfect person, I think, see you later, Charlie. Give me some character flaws, please, so that we can be pals.
Yeah, I think if you're not willing to share your imperfections, people will ultimately resent you for it.
So to prevent me from resenting you, what is going on in your basement at 3 a.m.?
What is going on in my basement at 3 a.m.? I suppose, I was having a conversation with my wife about our youngest son, Miles, who is a free spirit, much like you seem to be. And oftentimes, I'll tell him, sit still, pay attention, close the door. She tells me that I get after him too much and too critical, and I should back off.
Well, I'll tell you something, pal. You were purposely given a free spirit. That's what you needed in your life for several reasons. Not just to learn from him, but to confront the part of yourself that wants to change him and ask yourself why.
But my point of view is not that I want to change him, but that I want to help him develop mature, positive coping methods for the sorts of emotions that he has.
So are you saying he's not as emotionally mature as he should be for his age?
I'm saying that at 9 years old, he needs to be given guidance and encouragement along his path to maturity.
So he's only 9 years old. What is your wife saying? Is she saying, let his freak flag fly there, brother?
Essentially, yes.
So she's just wanting to encourage that free spirit. Who knows what we have here? This is probably just what the world needs. This may be our leader 20 years from now. You, on the other hand, are trying to, in an honorable way, trying to instill in him something more representative of what we all appreciate as adults in those we consider mature.
I'm hoping to help him develop a healthy balance. Being authentically who he is, but at the same time, having a healthy consideration for the wants and needs of others.
Let's cut to the marrow here. Give me an example of something he's doing that your wife says, let him roll, and you're saying, reel it in.
One of our slogans over the years has been mealtime is ordeal time. Oftentimes, we'll be sitting at the table, and as I would like things to be, I'd like him to have good table manners. Not to be jumping up indiscriminately and just leaving the table or dancing around. She isn't bothered by that. That doesn't fuss her one bit. When he jumps up on the spur of the moment to dance around and express his free spirit, Miles, you can do that when we're through eating, but for now, let's sit down. And oftentimes, almost every time, he won't want to do that. And Jill can see my point of view. But at the same time, she would prefer to just let him roll.
Now, that one's a toughie because I can see both sides. Is there a more cut and dried example where there's no way I would be siding with your wife? Because I say this about your son at the dinner table. We all believe there's a way we should be at the dinner table, but we've just made that up. We've just come up with that. Now, we've also come up with the idea that you shouldn't murder someone, but we have a good argument there. The argument there is we don't have a right to take someone else's life. How would we like our life being taken? You can make a good argument there. Here's the deal with your kid getting up from the table and dancing around. He's not really hurting anybody. He's bothering your sensibilities, but in reality, there might be a planet somewhere where that's what everybody does. They eat, and then they periodically get up and dance around, and they just celebrate life, and they enjoy the sensual pleasures of existence. They have a little bit to eat, then they go, wah-ha-ha! And they dance around, and maybe they run outside and pet a dog, and then come in for dessert, but we want them still. A doctor said to me one time that our problems, our physical problems as people begin the first time someone tells us to sit still. That's where our problems begin. Our bodies want to move, and to live a life of movement may be the way to stay the healthiest. He may be trying to be an example to you. Actually, I'm curious, when was the last time you did something really outside the box? I mean, really weird. Kind of like all of a sudden jumping up at the table and dancing around.
Well, that's a good question. I don't know that I have a good answer for you. When I was Miles' age, when I was 9 years old, my family was a little bit chaotic. My parents divorced when I was 13. They did not get along. And during that period, I did a lot of crazy things. I would go with my friends, and we would walk along the railroad tracks and climb up billboards and throw rocks at cars and get into all sorts of bad behaviors that could have gotten into some serious trouble.
Well, let's take a look at your adult life, though. As an adult, have you done anything really goofy, really off the wall?
Probably not. You may not think of them as goofy. I've gone on mountain climbing trips with friends who are enthusiastic about that I wouldn't have done it without their influence and encouragement. But, I've climbed to the top of Mount Rainier, for example, which I suppose most people wouldn't do, haven't done.
But when you got to the top, did you go, whoa! I climbed a mountain!
I wish I could say that I did, but in fact, I was felt a mixture of exhaustion and being terrified.
Mm-hmm. How about, have you ever gone to a Halloween party in a goofy costume? I'm afraid you're going to tell me. Wait a minute. You went as Dick Van Patten, and you just wore a sweater.
You're not too far off base in terms of the style of costume that I chose. I went as a sock, where I pinned a sock to the front of my overalls and told them I was a sock, and they thought that was great.
You just pinned a sock to yourself. You just pinned a sock to yourself, and at the Halloween party said, I'm a sock.
Yes.
Not a wildly intensive effort there.
No, I think the point was I was making a point of how little effort I put into it, I guess.
Yeah, that's what's worrying me, because you put a lot of effort into those things that are more on the straight and narrow.
I guess I do.
Have you ever researched the personality type known as the analytic?
I was listening to one of your earlier podcasts from not too long ago that you were listing the 4 or so types, including the analytic, and I thought that was interesting, but I haven't really delved into it since.
It makes perfect sense to me that you became an analytic in your adult years. It sounds like you grew up in a household that was somewhat out of control. The analytic fears, the greatest fear of an analytic is things being out of control. So what gets triggered when you're watching your kid kind of fly around and just be wild and free? Perhaps that sparks some concern that goes all the way back to your own childhood.
I think that there's something there. I agree with you.
So you might want to think about that the next time your kid is acting in a way that seems wildly free-spirited, you might say, let's look at what's happening to me right now and why it's happening and follow that trail backwards to see where it's coming from. Again, I honestly think it's a delightful thing that you have a kid like this. It could allow you to learn more about yourself. Now, clearly, there are out-of-control things a kid can do that are extreme, but what you're describing so far, for me, just makes me smile. I just already like the kid, and I don't even know Miles.
Well, he has that effect on virtually everyone, and I have to say that he's an absolute gift. We're older parents, and, for a while it was looking like we wouldn't be. And, both of our children are adopted and better than we could have ever hoped for. They add so much to our lives, especially Miles. He makes everyone smile.
Miles makes everyone smile. You lucky dog. What a wonderful life you have ahead with this guy. Hey, by the way, when I heard his name was Miles, and then I thought about your name, Roy, I suddenly thought it was 1957. You're not going to run into too many Roys anymore. There were a lot of Roys years ago, but when I was growing up, Roy was the TV repairman. Roy was one of our mailmen, but the Roys have seemingly disappeared. As for Miles, that may be a name that's coming back, but there was a long stretch there where it wasn't being seen anywhere in the maternity wards. I remember as a boy running into several Mileses, but it seemed to disappear. I don't know why these things happen. Meanwhile, a name like Mike, Michael, year in, year out, decade after decade, doesn't matter. It's always near the top. Everybody likes Mike. Why? How different is Mike from Miles, really? Think about it. How different is a Mike? Say it. Mike. Now say Miles. Well, I'd never name a Miles. Well, what about Mike? Now, Mike! I love Mike! What's your wife like? Free spirit?
Yeah, she's definitely more in tune with Miles. She studied art in school. She's very artistic. Self-expression is motivating force for her.
I want you to do me a favor this Halloween. I know it's going to be a stretch, but just give it a shot. I want you to go to a Halloween party dressed as a woman. Just to see.
I've done that too.
Oh, we now know what's going on at 3 a.m. in your suburb. There it is. We found it.
I did that maybe first year of college.
Just on your own, privately, on a weekend?
The same friends that I went and dressed up as a sock.
You weren't really dressing up as a sock. Could we get that straight? You actually didn't dress up as a sock. Well, you could have. Right, you chose not to.
Yeah, I chose not to.
This Halloween, just put a little name tag on that says, I am a woman. And maybe in parentheses, hear me roar. Well, I've enjoyed talking to you. I'm glad you added your name to the list of people I could call. It's been delightful visiting with you.
Well, Mischke, I am too, and I just wanted to take the opportunity to thank you for all of the podcasts that you've put together over the years, and also way back when you were part of the Afternoon Saloon with Don Vogel. I listened to you often back then, and I've always appreciated your point of view and your humor, and so I just wanted to say thank you.
That makes me feel great, Roy. Thanks for telling me that. Hope to talk to you again sometime.
I do too.
I know a guy named Roscoe who purchased a cup of coffee at a local coffee shop, and as he paid and was given back his change, he said, "Thank you," to the barista. And she said nothing back to him. She took his money, she gave him his change, but said nothing. The coffee was there, the transaction was complete, but she did not say a word, and that hurt Roscoe. How badly? He's suing the coffee shop for emotional distress, psychological damage. Sensitive fella, Roscoe, real sensitive. Now, the law firm of Bradshaw and Bryant will not be taking this case, but they will take yours. Not that you're not sensitive, but you're not a complete mooncalf. And because of that, Bradshaw and Bryant are far more likely to get you the financial compensation to make up for your personal injury. That money that's going to make you feel a bit less violated. Make you feel like there's justice in this world. Meanwhile, my pal Roscoe is going to feel violated the rest of his life. Hey, baristas, just say thank you, will you? Or say have a nice day. Come on, for Roscoe. Bradshaw and Bryant. Find them at MinnesotaPersonalInjury.com. On Saturday morning, Sam did not know what to do with his free time. Coffee in hand, he glanced at his dusty old bike in the corner of the garage, and he sighed. Then he remembered the e-bike sale at EcoFun Motorsports in Forest Lake and Burnsville. He bought an e-bike from EcoFun Motorsports, and the following Saturday, the city felt very different. He pedaled a few streets, and suddenly hills didn't matter. The wind on his face was cool. Everything felt effortless. He stopped at a small cafe tucked into a side street he had never noticed before. He sat down, ordered a coffee, looked around, smiled. A half hour later, he was along the Mississippi River, exploring a path he didn't even know existed. People were jogging, couples were walking. He felt part of the city in a way he hadn't in years. Every ride on his EcoFun Motorsports e-bike was a new discovery, a tiny adventure, and the best part, he hadn't broken a sweat. He hadn't rushed. He had just ridden his e-bike like a free man on this earth. He rode. And by the time he got home, Sam already knew what the next weekend would look like. Another ride, another adventure, another part of the city waiting to be found, discovered, and he knew he'd never go back to his ordinary old dusty bike again. That was a relic now from the past. EcoFun Motorsports in Burnsville and Forest Lake. They're having an e-bike sale. Now is the time. Be a free soul on this earth. Feel it!
You have reached Erica Scanlon. Please leave me a message.
I try, and I try. I try to call a woman, talk to a woman, visit with a woman on the show. The listener list is long, but it's dominated by men, just dominated by men. Why? Because men have tended to be the ones to send me their phone number. But every now and then I do get a woman who sends me a phone number, and I call them, and this is what I get. I've had you on in a way. Your outgoing message has been heard, sounded very female. Either that or you're Roy, already pretending to be a woman. And what a good job you're doing. Well, I'm sorry to miss you, Erica. Really sorry to miss you. You have a lovely Irish last name, too. I bet you would have been a load of fun. I mean, a bowl full of cherries. I mean, a whipped cream and popcorn type conversationalist. But perhaps some other time. In the meantime, it's Mischke signing off.
Please leave your message for 626747168.
Hello, Samantha. It's Mischke calling from the podcast. Dagnabbit, I'm having no luck getting a hold of women today. What does a man have to do? They're all busy, or they're screening the calls. They see it's me. They want nothing to do with me. I don't understand.
Your call has been forwarded to voicemail. The person you're trying to reach is not available. At the tone, please record your message. When you have finished recording, you may hang up.
In the words of the late Bobby Sherman, Julie, 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 do you love me? I'm probably the only guy who's going to be quoting Bobby Sherman to you today. I hope I am. Sorry to miss you, Julie. I was really hoping to talk to you because, well, as I've been saying, there aren't that many women on the listener list. I don't know what that's about. Sometimes I think it's that there's something about me and women. It's just, oil and water, or what's the old saying? It's potatoes and arsenic, or it's gangrene and fetishism. What? I don't know. Sorry to miss you. I'm doing the podcast. Thought I'd try and find you. I'll try some other time.
Hi, I'm not available. Please leave your number and I'll call you back. Thanks.
So Kitty's not available either. Yet another woman not around to talk to me. I am hitting a wall here, people. My Gillicuddy. What does a man have to do to talk to a woman? First step, I take her out and treat her like a lady. Second step, tell her she's the one you're dreaming of. If you're a woman, please think about adding your name to the callers list. These are listeners who don't mind being given a call. Heck, you can use a fake name. If your name is Mary, you can change it to Hortense. If your name is Gwen, you can change it to Hildegard. Whatever you like, you can find a name that you think fits your personality. Maybe you want your name to be the Little Vixen. That's okay, but you can text me at 651-321-8949. That's 651-321-8949, and you can say, hey, add my name to the list, Mischke, and then you put your name there, and I'll know your number because you're texting from your number, and that'll be swell. And then randomly sometime I'll give you a call, and you'll see that it's Mischke calling, and you'll ignore it. And this game will play out for the remainder of my days, torturing me. Who wrote that song, First Step, Take Her Out and Treat Her Like a Lady? What is that song? Eddie Rabbit? Eddie Rabbit? The Rabbit Ears did that? You got to take that first step, ask her out and treat her like a lady. Second step, tell her she's the only one you're dreaming of. Now, there's a third step. He was really being thorough. Ed added a third step, and doesn't that change his personality, calling him Ed? Third step, take her in your arms and never let her go. Step by step, you'll win her love. That's actually not going to result in someone magically falling in love with you. Fellas, this is not your guidebook. This little brochure from Eddie, I don't think so, pal. I think first you get some sense of chemistry, some sense that something's clicking between the two of you. What happened to that first step? That's where we know we can take the next step. But first, feel the vibe. You know how many women over the years I perhaps saw and thought, well, there's a lovely woman, but she would want nothing to do with me, I can tell you that. And then every now and then you'd find one and say, well, possible. Eddie, learn your steps before you write songs. Remember Cornelius Brothers and Sister Rose? Treat her like a lady? They said, all my friends had judged me, something they didn't understand, how I get all the women in the palm of my hand. I told them, I treat her like a lady. You got to treat her like a lady. It's the best you can do. You got to treat her like a lady and she'll give in to you. Really? She just gives in right then? You just treat her like a lady and she gives in. I guess it's really easy to get a girl. Hey, guys, you single fellas listening right now, listen to Eddie Rabbit or Cornelius Brothers and Sister Rose. Both of them say treat her like a lady. Of course, the problem is different guys have different ideas of what treating her like a lady is. Maybe second step after the vibe thing is ask her how she likes to be treated ideally. What's an example of a perfect evening? What does she look for in a fella? Maybe she'll say back hair. Now, you laugh, but I met a woman one time. She wasn't from this country, but she told me the sexiest thing in the world is back hair. You know what I showed her right after that? The Patterson film. You guys know the Patterson film from 1967? Sasquatch? Bigfoot? Famous Patterson film. That was porn to her. All right, where are we? Songwriters have no idea what they're doing. You know why songwriters can't be trusted to tell you how to get a woman? Because all they got to do to get a woman is play a song. That's it. They play a song, they get a woman. They play one song, she's waiting back in the green room. Now, I'm not saying she's the best catch in the world. She might be, I don't know, but she's in the green room. And he just sang one song. But notice they don't advise that. They don't say, first step, go out and learn an instrument. Second step, try to sing. Third step, get a gig. Fourth step, hang out in the green room. Someone will show.
Hello.
Well, hello there, Kyle. It's Mischke.
Mischke, how are you?
Oh, I'm doing great. Just great.
Great.
I hope you're doing great. It would be great to learn that.
I am doing great.
Great! Great, Kyle! What the hell's going on in your life? I sense something big happening. I mean, big. Big, 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 big.
That's very big. I'm waiting for some tacos.
Ha ha! They're going to be the best you've ever had, boy.
God, I hope so.
Oh, you're going to remember this for years. Write the date down. I wish I was there gobbling down a bunch of them with you.
Me too.
Where are you?
I'm in Richfield.
Good God, that hellhole? I mean, lovely town to raise a family. What do you do with your life?
I tattoo for a living.
Now we're talking Camper Danny. You tattoo people?
I do.
That's glorious. What's the most intimate place you've ever tattooed a person?
Nowhere too interesting.
I didn't say the intimate places were interesting. I just asked what was the most intimate. Maybe what they call a tramp stamp?
Oh, yeah. I've done plenty of those.
Don't do them anymore. Tell the young woman that this is a colossal blunder. This is a terrible mistake.
Most people feel that way, but young people, they want them again.
What do young people know? Their brains are still forming. You don't follow through with their wishes. You follow through with your own. I realize that's a recipe for financial disaster, but you're the mature one here.
That's true.
What's the creepiest thing anybody's ever wanted for a tattoo?
The creepiest thing?
Yes.
Hmm.
Don't lie to me.
That's a good question.
It's a great question.
When I hang up the phone, I'm going to think of something.
Are you even a very popular tattooist?
Thank you.
Sorry about that. Wait.
I gotta ask her a quick question. Quick question for her.
She's gone already.
She's gone. The most interesting tattoo you've ever done. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
The most interesting, I'm putting a full bodysuit on this young man, so...
He wants head to toe?
Yeah, head to toe.
That involves intimate areas.
It does involve intimate areas, that's true.
You are going to get weird. You're going to be down there doing something saying, is this what I wanted to do when I was 12?
You know, I ask myself that a lot, yeah.
Good money, huh? Boy, I see a lot of these tattoo guys with pretty nice Escalades.
I think they're living beyond their means.
Well, they sell drugs out the back. You do too, right?
I wish.
You don't want to wish that because let me tell you something. There isn't a drug deal in the world that was worth sitting in a prison cell saying to yourself, my God, this is boring. I've got a sink. I've got a toilet. And the hours are just going by. And I've thought all the good thoughts I have for today. And there's so much more time just to sit here. You know, they never tell you about the boredom. They don't. In all the prison movies, there's the violence, but that looks like action. And then there's the time in the cafeteria, but that looks like, hey, I'm with the fellas. They don't talk about the boredom.
They really should focus on that more. I think, yeah, you're right.
You don't need to scare kids straight. You don't have to scare them about prison and the weird guy knocking late night saying, hey, will you be my girlfriend? You don't have to scare them with that. All you have to do is tell kids, you know how all your life you've gone to the bathroom where you've shut the door and locked it? Those days are over. Remember how you used to have a little private time when you went in the bathroom? That's not happening anymore. Just tell them that. Tell kids that in 9th grade. That is all it would take if I were in 9th grade to become, I don't know, a Methodist minister.
You would go run in the opposite direction for sure.
Are you married?
I am married.
And she's okay with what you do for a living, knowing you're going to be tattooing a guy down there?
Seems to be.
What does she do?
She's an elementary school nurse.
You know what would be fun, and this is just me, but I think it would be fun to be an elementary kid and go down to see her and say, I am 100% certain that right now I am having a major stroke. And then she could say, oh, I highly doubt that. And you could say, that's the problem with modern medicine today. You guys think you know more than the patient. I know my body. I live in my skin. You don't. Now, would you please take me seriously? I am having a stroke. I can tell you which side of my brain it's on, too, based on the symptoms. Please treat me. And it would be fascinating to see what your wife would do.
She's quick on her toes, but I think that would throw her for a loop.
I'd want to be 6 years old, walk in there and say, I am positive I have stage 4 prostate cancer. All right, listen, you ever tattooed someone's mother on their arm?
Like a portrait of their mother?
No, the actual woman. Just put her on there, stuck to the arm.
No, never done a portrait. I've done the classic mom heart, mom banner.
I don't have any tattoos, but if I ever get one, A, I'm going to have you do it. B, I'll tell you exactly what I want you to put on there. USS Indianapolis.
And why is that?
Really? You have to ask.
I do.
I'll never wear a life jacket again, Chief. Wow. You know how you can tell the length of a shark? You measure from the dorsal to the tail. Really? Anyway, we delivered the bomb. None of this is ringing a bell.
Are you quoting Jaws?
Yes! What started that whole conversation? The removal of his USS Indianapolis tattoo.
Oh. I need to watch Jaws again. It's been a minute.
No, the time I was the most scared, Chief. Waiting my turn to get on that PBY. Young man flying it younger than you, Mr. Hooper. Little man in diapers. Little in utero pilot. But yeah, I'd like to get the USS Indianapolis on my arm, and then I would immediately get it removed the following day just to have the scar.
That would be fascinating.
Yeah, well, I'm going to do it one day.
Immediately to the removal.
Yep, right away. Well, I'm going to let you go.
Well, thanks for calling, Mischke.
Well, thanks for putting your name on the list. I've enjoyed our time together.
Yeah, this was great.
Have a nice dinner.
Well,
bye-bye.
Thank you.
It simply means applying a bleach solution, sodium hypochlorite, onto a surface.
I'm watching a video from American Pressure. Yeah, I don't know if you're thinking about adding a wash bay to your business or upgrading your current operation. I'm telling you, after watching a few of these, you have got to work with the experts at American Pressure. Their team will meet with you at your place, and they'll go over all your specific pressure washer cleaning requirements, all your needs. American Pressure represents a whole slew of different manufacturers. They'll be able to recommend just the exact perfect equipment with the right flow, the right pressure for your specific application at your business. I've been watching these for hours, and this is my third day in a row doing it. American Pressure impresses. It at least has to be one of the calls you make. You have to talk to them on the phone. By the way, they answer their phone. Just talk to them and get a feel for them. 5 will get you 10. This call to American Pressure saves you money. Doesn't cost you. It saves you. Now let me get back to my favorite show.
8-gallon minutes common, 5.5-gallon minutes common. Usually the 2 to 3 gallon minutes.
I'm doing an ad right now for MSP, Minneapolis St. Paul Plumbing, Heating, and Air, but I'm going to deviate slightly. The big hot shot over there has been a pal of mine since I was a very little kid. Met him in first grade. He and I would walk home together. And we'd arrive at the intersection where he went his way to his house and I went my way to my house. And we'd talk there on the corner as 7-year-olds. And we'd get each other laughing uproariously, laughing where we had to hold our stomachs, where we'd fall over, just laughing in the joyful way kids can laugh. And then he'd head home and I'd head home. We started doing that well over a half century ago, and we continued doing it. The very first birthday party I ever had, he was there. When we got to adolescence, I'd sleep over at his house multiple nights in a row. That wasn't really allowed at his house multiple nights in a row, but I would hide under the bed. And after his parents said goodnight, I would come out, and he and I would hang out together, or we'd sneak out and run down to the Mississippi. We got into all sorts of trouble together in high school. We were one of the first guys to get cars. His mom ended up working for my dad. We lived together, very first place when I moved out on my own. He was my roommate. I could go on and on and on, but he's a wonderful human being, salt of the earth guy, biggest heart of anybody I've ever met. And at MSP, Minneapolis St. Paul Plumbing, Heating, and Air, they are astoundingly lucky to have him. And you are lucky to be getting your plumbing, heating, and air conditioning work done at a place that has him there. Next time you need the services of a plumber, a furnace guy, a boiler guy, an air conditioning guy, my guy is your guy, MSP.
Hello.
Steve!
All ears.
You're all ears? I'm all thumbs. We ought to get together and have a beer sometime.
Come on, Tommy.
Get out of here,
man.
Holy smokes.
You did not come in on the right number. You got to call me back on the right number.
You only gave me one.
No, you called in on the wrong number.
You gave me your number.
No, I got your number. You got my number, but your number is not this number.
I wouldn't have your number if you hadn't sent in a number. This is the only number I have.
I think we got all that covered already.
What the hell are we talking about?
Hey, Tommy.
Are we starting over?
I guess so.
Okay, hang on.
Hello?
Steve!
Hey, Tommy.
Hey, how are you? Good to hear you. Boy, I've wondered who the heck the Steve guy was ever since I started to look at that list and see the name Steve next to your number. I'd say, I wonder who that guy is. You'll see Steve and you'll think, well, you don't run into that name every day. Wonder what that guy's all about. I bet he's got quite a story. Steve!
That's a good name. Come on.
It is a good name. It's a great name. We don't quite know what all was going on when that name was created, though. What was happening when they were sitting around going, we need more names to call people? Someone said, I got one. Steve! Where the hell did you come up with that? I don't know. It was like the sound of, I was mixing some stuff in a bowl and it spilled on the floor and a door was opening and the whole thing together sounded like Steve.
It's not really in the Bible as far as I know, so.
But St. Stephen, you know what happened to that guy.
Well,
wishing well with a golden bell, bucket hanging clear to hell, hell halfway twixt now and then, Stephen fill it up and lower down again. Lady finger dipped in moonlight, writing what for across the morning sky. Sunlight splatters, dawn with answer, darkness shrugs and bids the day goodbye. Speeding arrow, sharp and narrow, what a lot of fleeting matters you have spurned. Several seasons with their treasons, wrap the babe in scarlet colors, call it your own. Saint Stephen will remain, all he's lost he shall regain, seashore washed by the suds and foam, been here so long he's got to callin' it home. That's some poetry there, baby. Wow! Carl Sandburg, eat your heart out. Robert Frost, throw yourself off the roof of a building.
Grateful Dead was not on my playlist.
A lot of people don't like the Grateful Dead. I'll tell you who really didn't like them. Keith Richards. No.
Because?
They just noodled around. They just noodled around on their guitar, according to Keith. Anyway, what do you do for a living?
I work for a little company called Trim Back out of St. Cloud.
When you were 13 years old, what'd you want to be when you grew up?
Really didn't have anything in mind. I was a very young operator for AT&T way back in like 1986.
You mean back in the days when you would hit zero, you'd come on?
Yes.
I probably talked to you on the radio back then. I hit zero all the time. You might have been on the air.
I know you did. No, I was not on the air.
Okay.
I would have remembered that as well because I was even then listening.
So, what's your best story from being an operator?
I did take enough time to talk to females that were interesting.
Wait a minute. Are you saying a woman would call with some phone question and you would try to pick her up?
Yes.
When you tried to pick her up, were you successful?
We did exchange information enough that we could contact each other after that. One-time thing, but...
So she saw enough in you from a operator conversation to give you her number?
Yeah.
What's wrong with that woman? You couldn't have been that charismatic.
Oh, come on, Tommy. We had a nice evening at Taco Bell because I was 19.
What is with the taco theme? So you got tacos with her. Did it go any further?
No, it really didn't.
Are you married now?
I am recently divorced.
Well, I'm sorry to hear that.
No, that's all right.
Let me guess.
It was a good...
Let me guess what happened there. I'm just going to guess what happened there.
This ought to be good.
Well, she became a born-again Christian.
Oh, I only wish.
Oh, so it went the other way. The devil's horns?
Yes.
Oh, no, I've heard of these.
No.
I've heard of these where you wake up in the morning and you're next to Satan and you don't know what happened. The cloven hoof is sticking out under the sheets.
Just parted ways over I've been to Jesus Christ.
You're into Jesus Christ?
I believe in Jesus Christ, yes.
So it went the other way. So you became the born-again Christian, and she couldn't deal with that.
That would be definitely a factor, yes.
Boy, I'm not bad when it comes to guessing this stuff. You got to give me some credit here.
Yeah, you got it all backwards, but you got it all right.
But it's the same wrench thrown into the works. And probably when you became a born-again Christian, you probably became a little preachy. A little preachy. I think she probably said, it's fine, believe what you want, but, you're riding me kind of hard here with the Jesus stuff. I'm getting close, aren't I?
Yeah. Now you're getting close.
Okay. Now, this is fascinating. I like spending time with the intimate parts of your life and your relationship. I love butting into areas I don't belong, and I love asking inappropriate questions whenever I can. I enjoy that. That's a thrill for me. I hope it's not too horrible for you.
No. It's all fine.
And you'll find another. It's like waiting for a bus. You miss one, you stick around, another one comes along.
Yeah. It's really hard to find anybody right now, Tommy.
When I was on the radio, there was an ad that ran all the time back in the 90s or maybe the early 2000s. And it was an ad for a Christian dating site called Equally Yoked. Probably the worst name in the history of dating sites. But it was a Christian dating site. And I'm just going to throw that out to you. Equally Yoked. Think about it.
Don't know if it exists anymore, but I vaguely remember hearing that one.
There's got to be a better name out there for a Christian dating site. How about Smitten Christian?
Stop that.
What would be a good name? Equally Yoked? I have to say, gospel music, when it's done right, preferably in a Black Baptist church.
Pretty good.
Yeah. My mother, she switched from a white Catholic church to a Black Catholic church because my mom ultimately found the greatest expression in singing. She loved to sing more than anything else. She sang her way through the Depression. She switched from this little conservative Catholic parish where I grew up to this mostly Black Catholic church because the singing just filled her heart with joy. It was just powerful. I told my mom, I said, I hope if there's reincarnation that you come back as a Black Baptist gospel singer. You want to hear my Black Baptist church experience? I took lessons one time, years and years and years ago, for piano. And the teacher said to me, well, you know, your heroes, people like Jerry Lee Lewis, Little Richard, they got their start in the church. They got their start with gospel music. And if you watch them play gospel music, it's a lot like rock and roll or rhythm and blues. So I'm going to teach you gospel music, okay? I said, fine by me. Let's go down that road. So started teaching me gospel music. And then the next thing you know, we're singing together, he and I. And then the next thing you know, he says, you know what would be good for you would be to join us in church this Sunday. And I said, why? He said, well, I think you should check out the gospel singing there. Well, I didn't want to disappoint him, so I showed up Sunday. I didn't know these things were 3 hours long. Good Lord. I get there. First of all, everybody else has suits on, and the women are dressed in fancy clothes. I just came in my regular clothes because that's how you went to Catholic church. You didn't get all that dressed up. So I stick out like a sore thumb on the clothing, and then there's the sticking out as the only white guy in the whole place. That's okay. I figure I'll take a seat in back and hide best I can. So I sit in the way back. The minister starts out the service by saying, anyone new here today? Well, every head turned to the white guy. We haven't had a white guy in here in years. Who is this freak? Hi, everybody. Sorry, I forgot my suit. And the minister says, this is all true. The minister says, I hear you've been getting really good at gospel music. Come on up here. And he brought me up and he threw me in the old black Baptist choir that was up at the altar facing the congregation. I joined them, the White Shadow, and I don't know any of the songs. None of them, but they're all expecting me to sing along. I do my best to fake it, but I think the whole thing was a practical joke on me, start to finish. I really think afterward they laughed their ass off. They probably had a picnic and told stories about me for months. It was just embarrassing as hell.
I highly doubt that they wanted to embarrass you.
Oh, no. I was joking. I was joking about that. I was joking about them wanting to embarrass me, but I was embarrassed.
All right.
Yeah. Well, we've really moved through a few topics, haven't we? Wow, I'm exhausted. We better call it a wrap.
Fair enough, Tommy.
Great visiting with you.
Thanks for the call.
All right.
Anytime.
Bye-bye. Here's a wild idea. What if your money actually worked for you? I mean, got out there and sweated. Not like that one cousin who keeps saying he'll come over and fix your garage door. I mean, really worked. Enter Josh Arnold. 40 years of helping people make their money behave. Retirements, investments, all of it. He's your man, Josh Arnold. And here's the kicker. He'll give you 48 minutes of his time free. More time than it takes for your neighbor to bitch about taxes. No pressure, no strings, no suits that make you feel like a bank teller is judging your life choices. Just 48 minutes from a knowledgeable friend, Josh Arnold, sitting down with you, looking at your money and saying, okay, here's what you can do. And if you don't like Josh, hey, that's cool. You've lost nothing except maybe 48 minutes. But hey, think of it as a mini vacation where your wallet thanks you. 952-925-5608.
Investment services offered by Josh Arnold Investment Consultant, LLC, a security and investment advisor. Past performance is no guarantee of future results. All investments involve risk. Tommy Mischke is a paid endorser.
I just received this email from a listener. This is startling to me. Mischke, I've been listening to your podcast ads for Wellshire Residential Memory Care in Bloomington and Medina for, well, honestly, I've lost track for how long. I blame it on the ads' hypnotic descriptions. Anyway, I'm writing because my wife and I have made a life-altering decision. We would like to move into the Wellshire. Now, here's the thing. We're both perfectly healthy. Our memories are fine. We don't need memory care. But your ads, Mischke, your ads make the Wellshire sound like a theme park for the recently retired. The garden, the courtyard, the ice cream shop, where I feel I can practically taste their double-scooped chocolate fudge. Come on! The cinema, the salon, the barber shop, the town square environment. Honestly, who knew a memory care center had better amenities than our high-rise? So can you help us move in? Do we fill out some form? Or do we just show up, toothbrush in hand, and start enjoying life like your podcast has promised. Signed, with all the enthusiasm of a person about to move to Shangri-La, Jerry and Marge Talbot of Woodbury. The Wellshire Residential Memory Care Center, Bloomington and Medina. It really is that good, folks.
Hello?
Well, hi there, Ben.
Oh, Mischke, how's it going?
Well, everything's fine here. Give me your life story in 60 seconds.
Oh gosh, well I'm just a machinist from Eden Prairie.
Golly, there's a song there. I'm just a machinist from Eden Prairie. Honey, will you go out with me? I'd like to date you, but I don't have money. What can we do that is free? Are you single?
Oh, no, I'm not actually married.
Well, when you met your wife, what do you suppose she saw in you?
It can't have been much. I think we were at a Christmas party, and I was talking to her about some Japanese cartoon we were both into. It was honestly not the most romantic thing in the world.
You're at a Christmas party, and you go up to some girl you're hoping to have a chance with, and you start talking about a Japanese cartoon you're into? You must have been almost positive this was going nowhere.
Well, thankfully that didn't end up being the case.
I mean, what are the odds that she happens to say, weird, you're this guy who's into little Japanese cartoons? I'm into little Japanese cartoons.
Well, and thank God for that.
Now I have to ask, what the devil is a machinist? A machinist is such an interesting term because there are so many machines. I mean, I guess I'm a machinist. I think I'm sitting in a machine right now of some sort. I'm using machines to talk to you and to do this show. I'm a machinist.
Yeah, and there is a lot of variations. Specifically, what I do is I am a CNC, which is computer numeric control mill programmer. Somebody hands me a picture of something they want made out of metal, tells me what metal they want it made out of. I take a model on the computer, I make the shape, and hopefully some other guy in inspection tells me it's good. Do you know what a Bridgeport is? Like a Bridgeport mill, like maybe you might have used in shop class?
I did take shop class at one point. I remember in high school looking at the guys in shop class as I walked down the hallway, and I said, wow, those guys are all the pot smokers. I bet they're fun. And I just figured that class would involve just being around guys who were stoned for all 55 minutes, which it was. And I was curious to see how the instructor would handle that. So I did take the class. I forget what we made, but I was mostly observing. I was observing the stoners trying to build things. I'd be in shop class and I'd say to the other guys, you fellas ever take your winter jackets off? They were looking like they were expected to be kicked out of school any minute. And they just wanted to be ready. They had their full winter jacket on in shop class.
Oh, my God. Yeah. In my experience, that is one of the signs, yeah.
What did you want to be when you were 18 years old?
Oh, my God. I actually wanted to be a history teacher.
I didn't see that coming.
The 2008 financial crisis was kind of an interesting time for me. I have a master's degree in library and information science and a undergraduate degree in history, and now I run giant robots, for lack of a better word, that cut shapes out of metal.
What neck of the woods are you living in?
Eden Prairie.
It's interesting that they didn't feel Eden by itself would be descriptive enough. They could have called the town Eden, but they thought, no, that doesn't sound as evocative. How about we add prairie to it? Yes, that's what it'll be. Eden Prairie. They must have thought there could be some worry that it would be the Eden Ghetto if they didn't say prairie or the, Eden Desert or Eden Living Hell. But Eden was fine. Everybody knows what Eden is. I'd like to rename a whole lot of towns. I'd like to rename a whole lot of lakes. You know what the number one most common name for a lake in the state of Minnesota is?
No, what's that?
Mud. Mud.
I think I've actually, as a boy, I think I might have been to several mud lakes. Now that you mention it, something I never really thought about before.
What lack of romantic insight would result in some schmo standing by a beautiful lake in Minnesota and saying, we'll call it Mud. In fact, I like that name so much, let's make that our go-to name. You know what the second most common name for a lake in Minnesota is? Long. Long. Another poet hard at work. I realized they had to name a lot of them, but you can look them up. These are all real names for lakes. Ashtray is a name for a lake. X is a name for a lake. Hooker is a name for a lake. Come on! These are real names. Well, any other plans for the summer or fall that sound interesting? You got any time off coming, getting away from the machine at all?
My wife and I are actually getting ready to move to Germany in
I was
November.
just going to say that. You sound like you're heading to Germany any minute now. My guess is Dusseldorf. Probably some machinist gig there. The word for machinist in German, by the way, is Schwadgasken. That's the word. It's going to be difficult when you're at a party talking to people about what you do. What town in Germany?
We're gonna go to Munich first. We've been there before. We like the vibe and the people and everything. And then after that, wherever I can land a job. They have a lot of manufacturing there. I've kind of been putting feelers out already.
Well, I'm glad we got to chat. Thanks for adding your name to the list for listeners who don't mind being called.
Well, yeah, no, thanks for calling, Tommy. I appreciate it.
And all the best to you in your adventures in Deutschland.
Dankeschön.
Bitte.
Bye-bye.
And that's about gonna do it for this show. Thank you all for hanging out with me. We'll do it again real soon. So long for now.